Okay, so I kind of have a bunch of things I want to talk about. So, I'll just be all over the place probably. But one of the things, I'm back on the hair thing again. So I saw this video and this girl was talking about sebum. And it's something about sebum is like this natural oil that keeps our hair nice and clean. It's like an animal has natural oils and stuff that comes out of theirs. And so we have the same kind of thing. And when we use a detergent to wash it, like shampoos and stuff, then we interfere with this. And so it causes more problems. It's like what causes all these, like, where people get psoriasis. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that people have going on with their hair and stuff. And then we get hooked on shampoo too. And as soon as you try and go back off of it, you get a burst of this sebum. And so you get tons of sebum when you try and go off the shampoo. So your hair gets really, really greasy looking. It's like this, because it's trying to rebalance. And that part is a hard part to get through. So you have to get through the part to let your hair get rebalanced. So I'm going to try this again. So there's going to be days where my hair looks real greasy. I'll probably just try and put it in a bun again. But, and I can't believe how many times you got to do this. But the thing that really got me on this one, because I've still been on my shampoo battle. Just because I don't talk about it all the time doesn't mean I'm not constantly trying to figure out, like, this whole thing with hair and the weird fucking water and the weird fucking chemicals and all the weird shit. So anyways, the thing with the shampoo that really got me on her thing that she was talking about, it was just like invented and like, I'm going to get dates mixed up. So you'd have to really look it up to be complete. Like if you're one of those people, it's like, it's got to be the exact accurate date or it's like I'm a mess. So I may say the day wrong. It seems like it was 1917 that they decided to make shampoo, this detergent, for your hair. And they were marketing it. And so she was reading these ads out of the newspaper. And it was back then, it said it was a good idea to shampoo your hair every 6 weeks, maybe once a month. Look at where we're at. Every day, people are shampooing their hair. When it started out, it was like, yeah, but once a month, maybe wash your hair with it. Now, people just use it nonstop. They market it. They put perfume, all this stuff. Oh, you can have such nice hair. Look at where we've gone to when it was introduced. It was like, yeah, well, maybe just try it. And a big part of the hair thing, too, is... this girl was doing a lot of research on the hair, is boar bristle brushes. So boar bristle brushes used to be like the brush your hair 100 strokes was a real deal, because you would brush your hair with this boar bristle brush and it pulls the sebum down through your hair. And so it gets all of your hair. And she even made a point to show in Rapunzel in the movie that they show her with the brush, and it's a boar bristle brush. So the stuff that they know, they're like, oh, they don't need to take care of their hair. I'm telling you, it's important to take care of your hair. And they just, the whole thing with the chemicals, color it, permit, all this stuff is, I personally, as time has gone on, and I've gone through those things, I've done those things. I'm not saying, it's hard to watch when you've done those things and it's like you see the light and you want to spread the joy, you want to spread the light and get other people to see what you see, but they have to see it on their own time. You can't get people to see what they don't see. So I can share what I see. And, the chemicals and all of the toxins and stuff, like that is their mission, is to get as many in us and see what happens. I keep seeing this footage, man. I don't know. All this stuff is being released. It's just going to keep going and going, and it's rough when you come across some of these videos, but, the videos that are showing the hybrid people that they're making. The babies, it's fucking sick, man. I don't even know what the hell they're trying to, like, put a fish together with a baby. How they get a half fish and half baby? Like, what the fuck are these people doing, man? They're fucking messing around. That's what they're doing. They're fucking messing around. They're messing around and get caught too. This is it. This is they're getting caught. This is like, you know, you and your siblings and your cousins, and you're all down in the basement and you're all being naughty. And the instigator guy who's always running the show, he's always getting away with it. Well, this time he is not going to get away with it. This time he's going to get caught. This time it's coming around. And this is an interesting thing too, because this guy, he was a religious fella, and he was talking about something with Jesus and some, I don't remember, Isaiah or something. And so he was quoting some scripture or some kind of thing, like, and the pride will take them down or something. And he goes, so his prediction was, he was saying it is going to go down during Pride. And he said this month is going to be crazy, but I don't know all his videos, because all I saw was one where he was saying, I told you guys. And so he was saying that the fall on the beginning of Pride by Joe was very significant. That was one of those things they call them. All these people who are the code breakers and stuff, they call them something. I don't know. Sometimes I say it. I can't think of it right now. It doesn't matter. But anyways, like comp. It's like a comp. I think that's what they call it, like a sign. And so the Joe being at the thing, and I bet, you know, you could go in and probably break down everything he said and find more clues. But for to be that the first day of Pride, for him to go out and fall in front of everybody and stuff, is like the fall of the administration that's going to happen during this month. And so, and it's so crazy too. I swear to God, it's so weird, man. Because I see this burping thing, I swear to God. I see this, so many people who, you know, they're conspiracy theorists to most people, but they're not on top of all the conspiracies. Like, they're just like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think's going to happen about this? It's like, fuck, I'll tell you what's going to happen. But, you know, it's just so weird to see. But this girl, she's always, and she was showing a Simpsons show thing, you know, and they were showing a bank run, and the bank's going down. And well, it didn't show the bank's going down. It showed, so it tried to show. They used a twist on the scene of Jimmy Stewart when they do the bank run in It's a Wonderful Life. And so they tried to do kind of like that, only everybody's reaction, instead of being when he's like, well, yeah, your money is over in Tom's house, and Tom's is over in Jack's house, you know, when he's doing that whole thing. And so the people who are in the Simpsons thing, well, what is my money at your house? They'll start brawling and fighting, and that's what we're going to have. We're going to have brawls and fights. We're not at that place where Jimmy Stewart, where people cared and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I just need $20, just $20, I'll get by. You know, we're not there yet. We're not all in this together. So we're still in the part like, what's my money? You know, these people are just go whacked out. And I'll tell you another thing too, is when you talk about, like, to me, there's the people who see the age of Aquarius. There's the people who see the future in that direction. And then there's the people who see Armageddon, the future of destruction. And I can only place the conjecture of that's what they're here for. So that is what they're being shown. And, you know, but it could very well be that that's their fear. So they're feeding their fears. You know, I'm not inside them, so I can't say for sure what's going on. But I just heard a guy do this whole breakdown about what's about to go down, and his was all Armageddon. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I just can't listen to all of the stuff, and I don't want the stuff in my head. I'll say the stuff he says, so if you don't want it in your head. But so he said, you know, the same thing, the power is going to go down. But he's saying it's going to be either the winter of 24 or the winter of 25. So in this future, we got all this shit to keep going, just keep dragging and dragging and dragging until 24, 25 sometime in winter, when they're going to take the power down for 3 months, and they won't be able to have water because people won't have their filters, and you know, all people starve, people, all that stuff. I don't think we're going to be making it to 2024, 2025 to for the power to go down. I think that's coming soon. I'm way more in alignment with the guy who was talking about the pride thing and the perfect time to take it down during pride and the ego and stuff. So that to me was totally like, yeah, that makes sense. And that goes with the money thing and where we're at. Like, we're fucking teetering. We're on hold it together another year and a half, 2 years. Jesus Christ. There wouldn't be that many people left, I don't think. I think there'd be some, I mean, and then he was saying after that, they're going to come right in with a pandemic. It's like, dude, fuck, what scary movies you've been watching? And because that shit is going on right now. I mean, we got, they're bringing in this sickness over here, this sickness over there. Oh, also in DC, I think it was last night. It could have been sometime this morning or something. There was a really loud explosion that freaked everybody out. And then they came out as the cover story was some military planes were going and made that noise. But people are like, you know, something's going on. And who knows? I mean, this battle, some of the battles are above us. Some of the battles are below us, you know. And when yesterday it really hit me too. I was sitting here, I was doing something. I swear my time is so disjointed. Everything is so disjointed to me. It's like I like the release from the 3D is, you know, to me, but it's been going for since 2020. And so it has been, as soon as I saw the thing, you know, you start detaching, like, oh, okay, that, you know, you just start letting go. So I've been doing it for, you know, a long while. I don't feel attached to that. I feel it like cumbersome or like a burden when people want to talk to me about it. Because then it's like, but that's not real. That isn't real. And I'm constantly saying that. And so that you always think I sound crazy. But to me, like, I've let go of it. I see through it. It's not real. You're giving all this energy and power to something that is created, fear, manipulation. So, you know, I can't. And to me, you know, there's all of this stuff going is so people can keep releasing and stuff. But with the medical and all this, there's no fucking way we would make it a couple more years. Like, there's no way. So, yeah, I don't see it dragging out like that to be the way I see it. Like I keep saying, is I see it as that things are going to flip. Things are going to go the other direction. It's going to be mind-boggling to people. Like, and it can be any of these things. The administration going down, the banks going down, which I think that they are a married event. I think it's going together as it goes down. So it's going to be impactful because there's going to be a lot of things together. And so that is going to shift things going the other direction. Plus, I really think that as for those of us who have been leaving the 3D and have been going towards our dreams, our futures, whatever, and that energy is going to be flipping for people. Like, I see it flipping for people already. Like, things are taking off for people. All sorts of good things are happening for people. So I think for the people who are in alignment with that, with their energy, that is going to start being. But the flip, like, I don't know how slow it's going to go or if it's going to be huge dramatic. I know there's going to be huge dramatic things that are going to occur. And that is going to be what is the awakening part. It's going to be like, You know, like these people are in a sound sleep and somebody comes in and throws water in their face, comes in, claps in their face, turns the light on. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be abrupt. It's going to be sudden. And so they'll all start seeing that, they'll start seeing, but the actual energy to completely flip, I don't know if it's going to be like boom and everything turns the other direction, or if it's going to be like this little by little. Because, and the whole reason I'm saying that is just because of how things have been going. You know, like I said, when I started doing this channel, I thought I was so late to the game. I thought, man, there's only going to be a few months left of this nonsense. And, you know, this is going to be short. And here we are 2.5 years later, still saying the same stuff. And so I thought, you know, for how, and there's always movement where people are saying like, nothing's going on, nothing's happening. It's like, I see shit happening all the fucking time. And, so I 100% believe things are happening. I'm not one of those people, but it is way slower. It's just way slow. It's way drug out. You know, it's, but that is, you know, to give everybody opportunities to wake up, to heal, to deal with your shit. There's a lot of shit to deal with. And oh my gosh, more and more just tragic fucking stories, man. And all of them to get us to, you know, a girl, what was this one? This was sad. A really beautiful, darker woman with, I think she had 3 or 4 boys in the house, her kids, and it was something, I don't know what it was, why she had to go to the neighbors, if it was like, you know, a ball was thrown over the fence, so she went to the neighbors to knock on the door to get it or whatever. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Like, you can look up the story. It's going to be all over the place, I'm sure. Well, as far as they'll let it. Yeah, my nose with the dripping. Fuck, I don't know what the fuck. But so when she went and knocked on the door, he didn't even fucking open it. He just started shooting through the door. Killed this young single mom right there on the porch at her next door neighbors. It is going to continue being one tragedy after another. This ginormous fly. These flies, when they get in here, they're such bitch asses. I told you they all have their own personalities. This one's just come up and sit and run on the light watching me. And he is, like, he's been going from room to room. Every place he can find light, but he just can't seem to see the door. When I open it, like, dude, come on, feel a breeze. Go, go. I have gotten some of them out before, but some of them are so, like, anxious. That anything, they go the other direction. You can't get them to herd, like, move, go this way, go this way. I've got in the room trying to get the air to go but anyways, he's just gonna sit here and chill, I guess, and watch me. What was that? Oh, the animal shit happening. Oh my gosh. There's so many crazy animal attacks and shit too. Fuck. And the whale one is pretty intense. What's weird too is how I would always think like the people who were out on the kayaks and stuff, I would think of those people as being real like nature lovers. Like I would think of it being high vibration. So I'm not even sure why some of these whales would be attacking those kinds of people. I could see if it was a motorbike why they would jump up and hit. But a kayak, so I don't know. They're going to start showing their intelligence. I mean, they're out there training. Not like people are like, they're out there training other animals to attack the boats. It's like, it's crazy. But, you know, I mean, for people who have not given any respect to the intelligence of animals, like, wake up, wake up and see. And, what was some more? I've seen so many crazy things. And you know, another thing too I was thinking about is, you know, I find it so frustrating. Even to go take Stella on a walk just around the neighborhood. It's just like, oh, I'm just so frustrated the whole time. Sometimes I'm just out there. I know people will probably think, God, she's kind of snotty. Because I'm just out there. Oh my God, Stella, come on. How long are we going to do this? How long are we going to do this? And she'll just go up to a patch of grass and she'll stand there smelling it and smelling it and smelling it and smelling it. And then she'll look up. She's always looking for those fucking cats. And then if she sees one, because the cats are always coming up there and getting like, she sees one, she's got a yank. But the walks are so tedious because she's either just got to stand and smell a patch of grass for 5-10 minutes, you know, maybe eat a couple pieces, or and then we'll walk a couple steps, go to another patch of grass, and it's just like, oh my God, this is horrible. And it made me think about, like, in other countries, not all, I don't know all because I haven't been to every country, but a lot of countries I've been to, they don't like dogs aren't like how we domesticate them, like more of just keep them in the house and all that. Like, people have dogs, but a lot of dogs just run around. They aren't on leashes and on like in some places I would not have to leave my gate closed. Stella could just go out and wander around her neighborhood, go out and smell the grass and walk around. And if I lived somewhere else, and you know, I know she wouldn't go far. She'd, you know, go up till she couldn't see the house anymore, and then she'd come back. You know, and then there's some dogs, you know, that they are way more adventuresome and they'll go far. But the whole thing is of how we, and when they're out there like that, see, I think the dogs get along better. I think, you know, when we treat them more like animals that are friendly towards us, you know, and, you know, just like people like to feed the pigeons or feed the monkeys, like feed the dogs. It's the same thing. Like if you go to Costa Rica and stuff, there's dogs just walking around everywhere and people just feed them and pet them and stuff. So it isn't the same. And so some of those dogs could very well go home later that evening to their people and, you know, lay out there by their house or go in their house. Like, I don't know. But it's like in America with our, we got leash laws, we got this law. Like, I don't know. To me, like, we are up our own ass, man. We're our own problem. Like, dogs, we wouldn't, I think dogs, we wouldn't be having all these dog attacks and stuff. It's the energy. We create this energy, that we create this hostility. We are the creators of this. And there's just so many things. Like, there's so many things that we need to change to live more peacefully. You know, to get more, you got to get in that philosophy of, like things, to be in the moment and to just relax and to know things are just going to happen. It isn't like you have to control them. You don't have to do anything. Things are just going to happen. You just have to let them happen. You just have to sit back. And when something affects you, you have to deal with it. You have to process it, let it go, release it or whatever. That's why it's up. That's why it's making you think of it so you can let it go. And then it depends on how much, you know, have you thought about it since it happened? What do you need to do to let it go? How attached are you to it? And so it's a process. And one thing, I was watching that show yesterday, and I swear to God, I don't know how I'm seeing, I'm on the next season now and keeps being like, God, how is it? I'm like going so fast through there. And I'm not going and laying outside. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, I'm not like I've got a couple things now. I've got a couple of things I want to paint, but I still feel weird. And I haven't started my crochet. I just feel weird. Like I can't, it's not like a lack of motivation, but it kind of is. I'm way in my own head. Like, I'm so in my own head. I have to talk to myself to make myself grab a glass of, get some water or something. Like I have to. And that is what I noticed too, is even while I'm sleeping, that is the fucking thing. And I've seen other people saying now, like, I'm not getting any sleep. I don't know what's going on. But it is like, my awareness has gotten to the point that I am aware that my brain is processing in the room the whole time, all night long. It is like my brain is talking to me, and it is showing me pictures of like something will happen. It will show me a picture. This was so trippy because I was kind of, when this happened, it was a few hours ago, and Stella was in my room. And I was, I don't know, it seemed like I was kind of waking up. but I was still asleep, because I was still asleep when it happened. And so I hadn't started waking up when it happened. I was asleep, and it's like my brain, I don't even know how to explain it, but I was really aware of how my brain was thinking and talking, and I was talking back to it. And then there was something that happened in the room. It seemed like Stella did something or moved or something, but they showed it to me in a picture. And I understood the picture that had nothing to do. It wasn't like they showed me a picture of Stella moving. They showed me a picture. It seems like it was a circle and a triangle or something. But I knew exactly what they were talking about. And then I was like, oh, you're telling me, oh, okay, so you're telling me it was Stella. Like, I'm talking like through this sleeping. And then I started pulling myself more into being awake, where I started, pulling from there. And I started, I don't know, questioning things and talking and stuff. But I was really kind of fascinated, like, about the laying there in this, I don't know how to explain it. I think other people start noticing it. I think it's happening to all of us. I've seen other people start saying, like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't sleep. I can't, I feel like I'm up all night, like stuff like that. And it feels weird. It just feels weird. And, stuff like that, where I just got to tell myself, okay, just remind yourself, you don't need like 8 hours of sleep if they tell you. Your body knows when to wake up. Your body knows when to go to sleep. Just tune into your body. And if your body is awake, and then also, well, this doesn't work really well for people who have to be scheduled. But, when you're not scheduled, then, if your body tells you, if in an hour, and I'm sitting here and all of a sudden my body just conks out, like, okay, let's go back to sleep now, and conks out, I can just lay down and conk back out. And even if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or if it's an hour, I have that ability. I think that's the islander lifestyle, like to just be free to live the way you want to live, eat when you want to eat, all this stuff is when you want to do it, not when you're scheduled or told and all their nonsense of this fucking goddamn place. And in the show, though, oh my gosh, my nose is just dripping. I don't know what the hell is warm now, but that also, when they do this cold, hot rain and all that, who knows what the fuck is hatching out. They create their fucking allergy shit, man. So anyways, in the show, there was a bunch of things where I was like, oh my God, people need some fucking help with their mental health. And then I really feel like it's kind of very exploitive to put people on in these shows that are in such crisis, but the people choose it. People choose to go on and publicly, put themselves out there in all of their, ridiculousness or whatever. So they're adults. They're making these choices. So, that's their whatever their consequences to the stuff, then that's their consequence. But the thing that was getting me is, so it is really weird to know what's going to happen and be watching it as it's leading up, because like, I can't even tell you how many people are like, they're putting the words out there that are creating their future, and it, you can see it. I mean, you already know what's coming. They don't know when they're doing it what's coming, but you know what's coming. So you have the awareness that you're watching them leading up to it, but they're playing their part leading up to it. The stuff does not come out of the blue like people think. And but this was really, really so interesting to me, because I have been with alcoholics who have quit drinking, and they just become super angry. And I think one of the things that people call it is like a dry drunk. They just become a dry drunk, but there's more to it than that, I think. Because I remember when my the husband, when the grandpa, I'll just call him Grandpa, because he's the ex that I still have involvement with because we're grandparents. And he and he was a severe alcoholic. And when he would quit drinking, like there was periods of time, you know, when he would try and win me back or get me to not leave him or whatever. Our relationship was so chaotic. And that he would quit drinking. And, you know, he'd be all excited. Okay, he quit drinking. He quit drinking for me. He's going to get his shit together. It's going to be fine. And then he would just turn into such an asshole. And I would be like, oh my God, even with alcohol or without alcohol, you're still a asshole. Like, what are you going to do about that part? And, you know, when it's two broken people, like he's just feeling more beat down and more beat down, you know, I'm judging him. I'm just ridiculing him. There's nothing he can do right. He's trying, you know, I mean, we create toxic relationships. We're not the only ones being hurt. We're also hurting other people. And that's something that we got to face. You know, we're not the victim like everybody, like we've got so many people just trapped in victim. I can't even believe what they're fucking doing with these LGBTQ fucking, the victimization is coming out with some of these people. And it's like, yesterday I did a thing, I got to remember it because I got to still talk about it. Yeah, I told you I was going to be all over the place. Yesterday I was talking about the oppression because I was putting a video in or something, and there's this real activist trans person out there, and I don't know how to explain it. They're a pale skin, dark hair, like a shoulder length, like all one length hair, and super dark eyebrows, super white skin, and looks like a girly, but looks like feminine kind of features of a girl, you know. Like some of them don't have that softness, but you know, I meet lots of natural born girls, and they also don't have that softness in their face. I mean, like I've a lot of times be like, I think I look like a man, you know. I think a lot of it, I mean, we all have just faces, it's, you know. But anyways, when you're talking about a trans person, then when you're doing all this, like, well, you know, are they passing? Are they not passing? Like this whole thing with the passing and all this shit, and why they got to do it to to children so they can pass. It's like, or we could just teach them to love themselves, and maybe they don't need to do it at all. How about that? Let's try that one. It's like fucking mental. But so this guy, I don't watch his videos, but because he irritates me. He's like being an activist over something that is created. You're creating this oppression. You're creating this drama. It's bullshit. And you're dragging these people. It's like, these people have got to start seeing you're just following these narcissistic people that are just out there to create chaos and tension and to ridicule and judge other people, because they've always got to have an opposing force. That group over there are out to get us. Fuck them. And I'll tell you, if you want to talk about oppression, no, I mean, to me, the people who are so oppressed, these little dark kids coming from these other countries, when people can just go in and take them right out of their homes and take them to other countries and sell them, like that, to me, they don't have any control over what's going on in their life. That to me is disgusting. The things I see about what's going on with all of the indigenous people, which I keep seeing, they don't want to be called Indians, American Indians, indigenous. They don't want to be called Indian. They want to be called by their tribe name. They just want to be their tribe. Like, and some of them are so like, you know, I don't even know how to say all these. Like, we got to be trained to know them all. Like, and there's no way that you could be able to know every, like, that's a Choctaw over there. Yeah, that's a Cherokee, you know, like, but they want that respect, which I completely understand, you know. We should be respecting the tribes and where everything started and the people who were before us. And so anyways, this person is, on the video I saw, they were talking about, I think this person's name was something Schwartz or something, I don't know if it's a news person or whatever. As this guy's like, yeah, I start doing a guy's voice. Didn't say it like that. Yeah. No, he said it like I don't know. I have a deeper voice for a girl, so because it sounded just like me. But so said about this person, how he's got to keep an eye on this person because of depression and stuff. And it just really got me. And I was like, oppression? What are you talking about? The people who are out there winning person of the year, woman of the year, athlete of the year, have the fucking schools backing them up, pushing their propaganda, and you're fucking oppressed? What the fuck? Shut the fuck up with your oppression. Stealing other people's bullshit and trying to make it all about you. That fucking irritated the fuck out of me, man. I was like, that is some fucking nonsense. Like, open your eyes to what's really going on in the world. It's not all about you and what your journey is. Like, can you imagine? Here I am as this tattoo person. I put all these tattoos on me, and then I go out and just like, I'm so oppressed. People won't give me a job. People are so mean to me because I have all these tattoos. It's like the same motherfucking thing. Like, I cut off my dick. Now people are mean to me. It's like, get over it. Get the fuck over it. You can't, because you look at things a certain way, you can't expect everybody else to. And I can't even fucking tell you how many motherfuckers come in and tell me, they literally tell me, I need to change my opinion. I need to stop talking. I need to talk about, I need to not talk about things that don't involve me. Like telling me what I can have an opinion on, what I can't have an opinion on, how I need to act and react. And I call them out on that shit. I'm not going to sit and argue with them about the point. My opinion. I'm not going to fucking argue with you about that. That's my fucking opinion. And you don't like it, that's your problem. It's not my problem, that's your problem. And if you think I don't have the right to have an opinion, you're an oppressor. Is fucking, that's it. And I call them out on their shit. Don't fucking come at me and tell me that I can't. And they'll come and say, oh, yeah, okay, old white woman. Fuck you. I'm an old white woman, so I don't get a fucking say. I don't get a fucking talk. Like, fuck off. You fucking, God. That's some bullshit. I swear to God. So yesterday, I was busy. I wasn't just watching that show. I was on a rant. I was like, fucking bullshit, man. Some fucking nonsense. Tell me I don't need to. You just, if you're gonna be saying that they're not oppressed, then you just need to be, I'm holding them back or something. I just saw this little tiny ultra feminine dude. I don't know. They could be transitioning. I don't know. To me, I see so many feminine gay men. Even this one yesterday, this was an old lesbian, an old, now we've got the lipstick lesbian, we got the lesbians who, aren't, back in the day, a lesbian, you wouldn't know the other ones were lesbians because they just looked like they were passing. The other ones, they got called out because they were too boyish. You were a butch, you were a dyke. And so, and they had, they have been fighting for this shit for so long. And this fucking LGBTQ bullshit that is like, it's undermining their thing. They've made a new one now with the gays against groomers. That's getting bigger and bigger because of the bullshit with the other one. But that's a corporate enterprise, that's we got the gear bullshit, they're just going to sell us something for it. And then plus their marketing, their campaign, and of course it's got the goddamn political, it's all fucking together. It's all to push us to this fucking agenda. You got to understand what the hell's going on to see the agenda. And these people who just like that guy, like you, to me, I was like, dude, you are fucking getting yourself some, a lot of stuff out of balance that you're going to have to put into balance yourself. Like this, to just get so many people to be angry and mad and all this stuff and fighting for something they don't need to fight for. Like, I don't know. But this guy, he was like, because the lesbian lady, she was, it was funny, because she said she was at the gym, and she was in the locker room, and she looks pretty dudeish. She's pretty dudeish looking, and she's got the short hair, how guys do this, like, shaved bit around here, and then have this other longer part or whatever, and she had, very boyish haircut. And, you know, she was masculine looking, you know. And she was getting told in the ladies' bathroom that she needed to get the hell out of there. She's a trans person, needs to get the hell out of there. And she's like, I'm not a trans person. I'm a fucking old lesbian. I was like, but it's the same thing that's happening with the feminine guys. You know, they just automatically assume, you know, and I think that is what they're doing to the fucking kids. They find the ones that are like the feminine ones and the masculine ones, and they're like, hey, guess what? We got a thing for you. And it's such bullshit. Like, if gender doesn't matter, then why the fuck are you doing that? Why can't you just let them just be? Why can't, it's so fucking, god damn, it's so manipulative, gaslighting motherfuckers. I'm really cussing a lot today, so if you don't like cussing, sorry. I don't have a problem with cussing. So that guy, this little tiny one, and he was like, we're 5 days in Pride Month, and I'm wearing my t-shirt today, and I'm really planning on going out there and really making some conservatives. I'm about to go really make some conservatives very upset. And that makes me so happy. Look at this fucking division. Like, I just want to go out and push buttons. I want to go out and fight. Like, dude, you are a tiny motherfucker. I wouldn't go out there just starting shit. Like, you could have a big lesbian against groomers come out and just punch you, like, knock you out. So, you know, I don't know what's going to go on all these groups. I mean, they're dividing and stuff like that. But his t-shirt was, love is love is love. I think it was 3. Love is, love is, love is. Love is love, love is love, love is something. It was 3 of those. And to me, it's like, yeah, love is love. So what the fuck is all this pushing the sex? Sex, 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 sex. And I'm so happy that more people are starting to see that too. It's not about the sex. It's about the love. Even in that show I was watching yesterday, one of the guys said that because the bisexual, well, I'm bisexual, and it's like, it's supposed to be about love. It's not supposed to be just sex. It's just like, oh, who do you want to have sex with? Sex, sex, sex. It's like, what happened to the whole thing about falling in love and being in love with somebody and then wanting to stand up and say, hey, we can love each other. Love is love. Love doesn't have any discrimination. And, but that's not what they're doing, see? They're just pushing sex, 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 sex. And I'm seeing so many gay people who won't go to the pride parades anymore because it's a fucking sex show and they can't even believe that kids are there. And that's how I felt. Like, I couldn't believe the last one I went to. And, you know, the one before that was the San Francisco one that I was at. And that one, it was crazy. It was huge. I know, fucking everybody's out there. It was so huge. And I was trying to think about, because that was like a couple years before. That would have been, it was right before lockdown. Because we went, no, what was that? Because I went to Spain and Portugal. And then we got back. And I went to San Francisco. It was Pride, so I went to the parade, and then I went home. And then it was the next year I went to Costa Rica. So that was like 2018. And I was trying to think when how sexual it was then. I kept trying to think, were the people, like, I know that there's lots of outrageous costumes and drag and all sorts of stuff like that, but man, I just don't remember if they were, you know, stopping and doing like little sex scenes and stuff. I'm sure probably there was. I don't know. I know that the next one, the one I went to, was it last year or the year before? I'm so lost on time. The last one I went to in Spokane, yeah, I couldn't believe how sexual. And even when we were out there, I said that thing came and sprayed over us. And I was like, man, look at the people who, these people think that they are supported by the government, and the government's coming here and spraying them like fucking ants. So, you know, they don't give a fuck about any of us. You know, you jump on board with their campaigning, that's all they want, is that energy to push their stuff forward. They don't care about you. It's not like that you're on the same team as them. No, you're just you're the wind behind their sails. That's it for them. But in the show, the one of the things that was really, really sticking out to me, because it was a couple different people had said it. So the one girl that is married to, they're not married yet. The one that was having an affair with the director guy, who I think he's a producer and a director. I don't think he's a director. I think he's a producer. I don't know. Maybe he's a director. I don't fucking know. He is, I just know that he was having an affair with Lala while he was married and had 2 kids. Left his wife for her. And Lala was very, very young. I mean, she was obviously old enough to work the bar, but I'm pretty sure she was a hostess. I'm pretty sure she was 19 or 20 when she was working there. And she was, you know, typical 19 or 20-year-old. I mean, she was so trashy. You know, she's going to go on the PJ and give a BJ. You know, she's always talking about, there's a couple of them. They just have no respect for themselves at all. And so she was super tacky and super, like, I mean, just hearing her talking about, like, all these people talking about Randall in this season. And this was his first season to come on camera. And this is season 8. And how they're all just like, oh, yeah, you're such a good guy. You're such a good guy. And then that's what I'm saying, to know what's about to come down and go out. And then, oh, yeah, he loves Lola so much. And he's cheating on her with other young girls. And then, you know, he's a casting couch kind of person. And so, you know. And, you know, I mean, I don't know how you can expect, if you're cheating on him, and his wife was beautiful. I mean, she looked the same as Lala. Lala was just younger, and a really beautiful looking, you know, Hollywood wife, and his 2 kids, and that, you know, she wasn't good enough. Oh, he's got to go for the younger one. The one that do BJs on the PJ. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, that's what love means to them. It's just a PJ, or no, a BJ. That's it. That's all they need. And that is going to end up biting these people in the ass. I mean, that is going to be where, you know, you have no respect for love, and you're just, you know, and then plus using people and getting them to care. Oh, man, that's just, so much toxic, so much negative energy, so much... it's yuck, but it's crazy though, because as you're watching it, you know what's going to happen, and how they're all talking to him this one, and it's like, it's like you can see into the future, and you know, like, so while they're talking, it's like, ooh, this is really yucky. We'll see how this goes. Everybody's going to be like, oh God, and get my foot out of my mouth. And but so Lala, when she was so tacky and, you know, doing PJs and, no, BJs on the PJ, and constantly just like, oh man, she was something. And so obnoxious and so drunk all the time and doing drugs and just to have sex with whoever. Like, she'd go down, and the way they talk about it too. Oh yeah, well, you had my cookie. Well, here, you can just, like, they're just, oh my God, it's so tacky. So, she was, I don't know, she calls herself a alcoholic, I think. But so she has a problem with drinking, and probably, I mean, they're all doing drugs and drinking. So I think, whatever. I know that this is when I wasn't watching it so much. I think it was like, I don't even remember what season. It seems like it was season 7. It seems like it was towards the end, because it was just, some of the people were just so disgusting. I was like, oh my God. And one thing though, I did feel more happy about, because one thing I couldn't stand was too, when they were looking at houses, they were all just, there was something so shallow about, I don't know, it just bothered me. And so I stopped watching. But I know that Lala was really getting drunk and, you know, being a total dick to people. And so she And I've heard her talk about it in some interview. Like, these people are always being interviewed on podcasts and shit because they'll pull up these interviews. And so she was interviewed on a podcast or something about it, and I think there was a bunch of drama, her and Randall getting drunk and doing stupid shit or fighting, I don't remember, but so she decided to quit drinking. So she quit drinking a couple years, now it's probably really long, because at this time she hasn't even been drinking for a couple years. So, and this is a couple years ago. So crazy too, because in season 8, at the end of it, they go into quarantine, so everything is locked down. And going in back to see that part, I skipped through when they were doing some of that, but at the end they still had to do the whole thing on a Zoom call, and just the whole attitude and everything. But now this season started, season 9, and they're back out now. The restaurants are opening back up, but they haven't been open in a year, and they're in Hollywood. And so, because they're in there going like, I can't believe it, we haven't been open in a year. And so in that time, this 2-year period, which is so weird, man. It's so weird how, so in this 2-year period, that was a year and a half or 2 years ago. But in the beginning of the lockdown, when they all got locked down, Sheena, she finally found her man. And so she got herself a fella, and they fell in love and have a baby now. And Lala has a baby now. So now we've started this new season with 2 of them are moms. A couple of the other ones are trying and stuff. But, you know, I just put it on for a few minutes yesterday, and immediately it's the same kind of, you know, cussing and yelling. I don't know what the hell. Drinking all the fucking time. But so James is this DJ, and he is also alcoholic. And Lala and James used to be friends. And Lala is this major alcoholic. And so now she has not been drinking for a couple years, but she's still being an asshole. She's still being a total bitch. And now it's starting to really be like, you know, man, even without drinking, you're a total asshole. People are starting to see that. And the same things happen for James. And James just quit drinking about, now, I don't know, I mean, it would be a few years. But on this thing, which was a couple years ago, let's see. No, because on this one, so it's opening up after just quarantine just ended. And he's coming out, and he's no longer, so he's a year sober. But he keeps having these like complete meltdown things, like losing his shit and saying just really rude ass shit. And what really got me yesterday was, because it's really standing out, is that it doesn't matter if Lala's sober or not, she's still the biggest, rudest person at the party. She's still the one who is ridiculing. She is so mean to people, like so mean. And, so now it's showing, okay, there's something else going on. It's not just the alcohol. The alcohol just let the other stuff come out. The alcohol just opened the door so the rest of the shit could come out. So something else is going on that's creating all this hatefulness, this anger, this, all of that is inside. And so now this is happening with James too. And he just keeps being a total dick to people. And I'm curious to see if somebody's going to start saying about being dry drunk, because he goes to AA and stuff. He's not, I mean, he is working the program. She works the program too, which I just saw somebody talking about working the program, and the guy who invented it, who decided that alcoholism was an uncurable disease, had no medical or psychological background. Who's just, you know, he was an alcoholic. But I also heard before that he was a place person, like that. Here, we want this, so here we're going to put you in it, and this is what you're going to do. So I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty big organization, so it makes sense that they have control over it. But to this creation of once an alcoholic, always out, you can't heal yourself and stuff like that. And this was somebody who I'm pretty sure was probably an alcoholic or an addict or something, who came out and said that is some bullshit. You can heal yourself. Just because you're an alcoholic, you know, doesn't mean you're an alcoholic forever. So, you know, and I know that a lot of stuff where people think that is because it's programmed into you because you believe it. And I've told my daughter that so many times, like, but, you know, as for each person, because your programming is, you know, is what you believe. And if you believe that you're an alcoholic and if you drink again, then you will spin out. If you believe that you can control it and that doesn't mean that something's wrong with you or broken, it's like a choice that you choose to not drink. But, you know, if alcohol were to touch your lips, you don't have to be in a panic like it's going to send you over the edge and you're going to fucking lose your shit again. And, you know, but so many people fear that. They completely are in fear of themselves. And so that guy's point was like, that's created. That guy didn't know. And then we're all living like he knew. How would he know? And, you know, that's just a guess. It's a hypothesis. It's a maybe. You know, it's like, let's look at it and see. But now with James now losing his mind, and he was, I don't know, they call him rage text. They'll rage text each other. And so and the rage texting is rude. I'm like calling people names and shit. So he was doing that. And the woman who does the show, who, I don't know, is kind of exploiting these people, if you ask me. I mean, this is fucking like 9 years of this. And, well, even longer. Like, I was thinking, Stassi, how old was she when that show started? Like, and, you know, I mean, these people have been on this show for a long ass time. And, so, Lisa Vanderpump, her son, Max, was friends with James, and James sent a bunch of rude shit. So she tries to get them to talk or something. And Max wants to know that he leaves. And so she's in there talking to James, and James is like starts crying. And so like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I can't control myself. I can't stop myself and all this stuff. And just with both of them and seeing it and seeing like is so fucking vital for people to understand about healing, about this shit that they've got to face and let go of. I can see that's their problem. They're not healing. You can't just quit drinking. And I mean, even working the program to go and do all that stuff, that's all good. But you have to face all the shit you were hiding from. While you were drinking, you were hiding from stuff. When you started drinking, it's more than likely you wanted to hide from something. Then something happened and you wanted to hide from it, so you went and drank. Over and over and over. There's shit inside of you that you haven't dealt with that is just, you know, maybe it's got to dry out a little, you know. Maybe you got to, you know, let it come out and come to the surface. Maybe it's really down in there deep. But, you know, when you are lashing out to people and angry and, reactive and raging, those are all signs. Rage and anger and stuff is signs that you are traumatized. That something is wrong inside of you. It's not just that you're a mean, angry, nasty person that nobody wants to be around. You're troubled. You're hurt. You have pain. And you have got to get to the core of it. You got to get down through there, through whatever mess that you've got going inside of you, that you've blocked all of your trauma. And you got to get in there and release it. You got to let it go. And that is what takes away your anger and takes away your resentment and your reactive. If you're really super reactive, that is a really big sign. If you can't, if somebody said, and I see this shit, and that is what on their show, oh my God, the reactiveness, like in the defensiveness. And those are all signs. Like when I was sitting there watching it and how they talk to each other and stuff, it's like, oh my God, all these people need to be in fucking therapy, not just out here being exploited on a TV show. I mean, they all have like serious things that they need to work on in order to have a happy life. And, you know, and they're like, they would be doing it, you know, I mean, everybody's where they're supposed to be. Like they're exactly where they're supposed to be. They came in to experience this. They came in to air their dirty laundry. And, you know, and just like me talking about it, you know, and explaining some part of it, That is an energy that goes out to heal and to help others. And so we can learn by others' pain and traumas. So, you know, I'm not going to sit here and judge them and say, you know, that these are stupid, imbecile people. And but I was glad, though, when I saw the houses weren't, you know, they were just regular houses that they were all trying to fight to get. Now, 3 of them all get, you know, the same kind of houses as like what's over here. Just these like where they go in and build this community, the same fucking house, just painted a different color and put them all next to each other. And so then Stassi, she started looking for a house. Now she's engaged, and she did go for a mansion-y kind of house. She was like, I don't want another one of those houses just like them. And then she called it something like another homestead marketplace house that, you know, whatever it was. She wanted something that was more unique, more Hollywood style and stuff. So she was looking for a big ass mansion. And I think she got some, I don't know, we haven't seen the tour of her new house, but the other people just have like regular houses. But in California, a regular house, that's still $1 million or something to buy a fucking normal house. So they all have those houses and pools, but you know, they're not, I mean, I don't even know. I don't think they're all just trying to drive. I don't think that they seem a little bit, except for when they do these parties, like they're so fucking wasteful. They're so over the top. Like, and then you're gonna, I don't know. There's something weird when you're gonna, you know, promote climate change, but then be so frivolous and so wasteful. You know, it's like the two things don't go together. If you're going to be all about, you know, climate change and cutting back and being like, when you live that lifestyle, or you just you just want to grab a label, you just want to stick that label on a little badge. Yeah, I'm not a science denier. I'm not an I'm a climate, you know, guru. I'm here for it. You know, I'm all about, you know. Let's even have a part where they go out to clean up the beach. So to make sure that the stuff doesn't go into the ocean. And they keep talking about, this is the cleanest beach I've ever been on. So there's not really much work. And then, you know, was that just part of the show? And I'll tell you another thing too, is there's 100% a fucking agenda being pushed for sure. And even when I mean, the constant gay, lesbian, all that stuff on there, but the channel is called Peacock, and then it is a rainbow. Now I start being like, there's something more to this Peacock thing. I bet you there's some kind of, like, if we took that word apart, it means something different than it's not just the bird, but their whole little rainbow thing going down. And there was other things, even on their whole channel. There's so much shows, so much programming, you know. What was the one? They're doing a lot of gay stuff right now, probably for Pride Month. But that's the thing, like, like this one show they have out, gay voices need to be heard or something like that. It's like, I hear more gay voices, more transsexual, whatever, more voices of the people who feel they're oppressed than I do of any other group. Like, I really, there was a mom the other day, and she was saying something about somebody, like this same kind of thing, like pushing this, you know, something that doesn't need to be pushed, and saying that we need to have these voices. And this woman was like, well, what about my disabled child's voice? What about blah, blah, blah's voice? What about, and all these other voices that are really not being heard? I mean, we're having one voice that is constantly crammed down our fucking throat, and we're not getting all of these other ones, you know, and that is, you know, because it's an agenda. And the people who just jump on and just push and push and push for the agenda and don't even know where it's going. Like, and they don't even question it. It's like not even a concern, just push it. I just, you know, it's curious is, where do these people think that we're headed? Like, where do they think we're headed? What do they think is going to happen from all this? Like, I mean, I feel certain. I mean, there's going to be more clashes. There's going to be more chaos. There's going to be more fighting. There's going to be more nonsense, more horrible violence that doesn't need to happen. But, you know, it's all going to happen the way it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. Like, as to me, as a, yeah, you know, like there is, yeah, okay. But we got to just go with the, we got to just go with the flow and let everybody come to terms for themselves, you know. And there is, because even if we think that we understand or we know or whatever, we got to give them all their time. Like, we can't sit here and say, like, we understand more or better or we know right or whatever. Because it can be very much inside them. They just got to remember. They still got to go through those remembering. So, you know, all I know is that we have a lot more violence to go. That's for sure. I mean, it's sad. Like, I wish that people weren't so violent. I wish people weren't so angry. I wish people weren't so reactive, you know, but I completely understand. Like, this is their opportunity to make those choices, to be less of those things. But, you know, they have to have that desire inside them, that drive inside them. And that is the push to take them in that direction. And if they don't, to me, they're here for that other thing. Like that guy's talking about, the horrible Armageddon thing, you know. So, you know, everybody's got their own thing that they're here to experience. And so you just gotta let it go and just stay safe. Like, there's nothing we can do to stop what's going to go on. There's nothing we could do to stop, you know, this guy from shooting through his door. I mean, how many times is this going to happen now? I mean, we've already had it happen more than once. And then somebody still was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll just shoot through the door. I mean, fuck. Can you imagine to be that scared? Like, I just wouldn't go to the door or just fucking talk through the door. I saw this video of this guy. This is just this silly video. And he's walking down his stairs and someone rings the doorbell and he goes down real quick and lays on the ground. It's like that. And the person who was sharing this thing was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I do. And then I was cracking up because that is the same for me. I cannot stand people just to stop by. And I have it happen, you know, it irks me. And somebody just to come up to my door. It's like, now I have my gate and all that stuff, but I've had people come up and, well, before I had my gate, now people don't really, I mean, I've had some, but, you know, mostly not. But before I had my gate, just walk up, knock on the door. I was like, don't just come to my house unannounced. Like, send me a message, you know. And I don't do that to people. And I've even had the neighbor, you know, come on by, just stop by anytime, come on by. And it's like, yeah, well, that's not me, but cool, thanks. Thanks for the invite. But I'd rather just go sit in my living room and space out and talk to fucking people out there. And I don't want to just go in and, you know, talk to strangers, like, about, I don't know. I don't mean it like that, but I don't know. It just is not where I feel like that's what I want to do, is just go to someone's house that I don't know and go sit in there and talk about stuff that I don't, like, I just, and I get where there's a lot of lonely people. Like, I've had people who keep inviting me, and I get it, but I can't go and, be the cure for other people's loneliness. I don't have that loneliness thing. Like, I get lonely, like, but I don't feel, like I have certain people, like, I would like to sit and hang out with, but not just pure ass strangers to fill my loneliness. Like, I don't know. But anyways, everybody's got their own thing. I mean, like, I don't know, some people have no family, and it's just like, come on by, please, please, because I'm probably have done that before, but I don't, and so I don't go and show up at people's houses, because to me, it's like somebody just comes and shows up. How they know if you're in the bathroom, if you're taking a shower, if you're naked, maybe you've had diarrhea all morning and you've been on the toilet. People don't know what you're doing in your house. To just come by and just be like, maybe you're just got everything pulled out into the middle and you're cleaning the floors. I just think it's weird. It's just weird to assume that somebody is just there available for you whenever you want. Just come on by, and I'm just sitting here waiting for you to go. I'm glad you got here. I'm just been sitting here waiting for you. It's like, I don't know. I just think it's strange. And even when there's this one person who used to stop by my house, and they would come up and just knock on my house. And I would always, I would look out the window. I wouldn't see anybody. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go down here. Like, but I too don't want to be seen. Like, don't want to be out there. It just reminded me of when the Secret Service was down at the end of my driveway. I wasn't even sure who they were, but they looked, I kind of could tell that it was something like that just by how they looked, like, and down at the end of my driveway, and waving to me to come down there, waving their badges around, trying to talk to me and stuff, so they don't cross over. And I didn't even have the signs posted then, no trespassing. I just had my gate shut, and I've got those signs up everywhere now, and I don't know what's going to happen either with the house thing. God, I kind of got stressed about that this weekend. I kind of got like, oh my God, what if they do? What if they really do come in and kick me out of my house? I got to fucking pack up shit. Where am I going to go? Like, okay, Kelly, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll make it work. We'll figure something out. It doesn't matter. I'll get a storage unit, put all my stuff, and then go live in a tent. God, I don't know if this world makes no sense. But anyways, we'll just, see how it goes. I'm hopeful as fuck if that whole thing about the Pride Month, and that would be when they would go down, because ego and pride and all this shit. So I hope, I hope. Because then they definitely, because no matter what, if you stop paying your shit, like, as I stop paying the credit cards, and I'm telling you, like, you'd think there would be a lot more going on. No, I'll get a bill from a collection agency, and I just throw it away, and I just don't give it any acknowledgement, and nothing happens. And I guess at some point, they can try and put a lien on the house, but I don't think that they can do the things they used to do. And besides the fact, the houses are going to all be swept away. All debt is going to be swept away. So even if I stop paying now, they would need a certain amount of time to file certain paperwork, I think. So I think I'm in an okay window of time to fight this thing. Like, I don't think that they can come in and tell me I got to be out of the house in a month. Usually it takes a really long time to get you out of the house on a foreclosure, but they could be trying to speed shit up. I can't even believe, like, for the past few months, my email has been so saturated with people who are asking me to refinance, to get solar panels, to all this stuff to try and get me to do some sort of financial thing with my house. And I just found that really suspicious. I thought they're just trying to get people to go on and do these other contracts, because these other contracts, they think that they can override this new system that's coming. I think that's what they're doing, because it's way over the top. Like, it's weird. And so now I think that the whatever is going to happen with the crashing, that will take away all of that debt. All of our debt will just be wiped away. And so, the house thing, I don't know. I just got to see, I mean, for how this is drug out, and I quit paying my credit cards in 2020, quit paying taxes in 2021, and now I quit paying my house a couple months ago. So I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to be trying to pack and shit like that, because I really want to just finish doing, I've been like drawing my designs and stuff, and I really want to just finish all of the stuff that I wanted to do and then start renting it as an Airbnb. And I've seen other people doing them, making these really cool little like kind of little theme houses and stuff to go and rent. And that's why I'm telling you, when we get going into the next phase, after we get out of this traumatic part, the horrendous part where there's so much trauma and stuff, when we get to the other part, there's going to be so much with travel, and so much, to me, is going to be like a Disneyland on Earth, because you're going to get to go to all these different places and see, and they're going to be, I think it's going to be really cool. I think there's going to be so much creativity. I think there's going to be so many cool places to go and visit, and like theme places to go with your family. I think it's going to really be cool. That's what I see for the future, and it's going to be about love, and it's really going to be about love, not about just sex. I think people are going to have a lot more respect for their bodies, and they're not going to just be giving it away. I still can't even get over Beyonce. Like, how goddamn, and on this show that I'm watching, all these girls are like that. And I'm telling you, that is what has created this culture, is this stuff. It has created like a soft porn world for young people. Like, that's what, they just don't respect themselves. They don't even understand that that's a thing. They're just, they're all about just getting drunk and dressing sexy and doing drugs and banging it out with people. Like, it just, I don't know, I guess in a world where you have no hope for a future and nothing really matters about anything, and everybody's broke and miserable. I mean, what else are you going to do? Do drugs and have sex. So, got a whole generation coming up that is, it's going to be, they've got a lot of programming shit that they're going to have to break. Hopefully they'll be able to do it because they're young, and once they start seeing, but man, they're deep in their programming, these people. And I talk to my daughters in their 20s, and yeah, they see things the way these people see things, not the way I see things. The way I see things, that's old fashioned. That's not the future, Mom. That's not how people are anymore, Mom. People are different than that. And, and if I think that things should be more, pure or wholesome, that's just old fashioned. That's not logical. That's not the way of the world. Well, I think it's going to be the way of the world. I think the world is going so deep into darkness that it's going to finally hit a wall and flip it, going the other direction. And people are going to appreciate not having to, show their stuff all the time. Like, I still, because if you haven't seen the Beyonce clip, it is, we all know what her role is anyways, but whatever her costume is very high in the front. And then she goes and sits down on one of her dancer's legs or something right at the very front of the stage, and sits down like he's sitting here, and she sits down like this on his knees. So this is her legs. She's sitting like that with this all exposed. And then they go up with the camera whoever's down there, just zooms right out, like they're looking, can see it, and they're like, what? Zoom in, and everybody can see it. Everybody can see it now. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. God damn. Like, what? Does anybody have any respect for themselves? I'm like, fuck. Man, I don't know. I don't know, but this is all the stuff that's going to keep being exposed and being seen. Like this, we got to see how really gross things have become. And it's time. I mean, we got to desire the change, desire the more wholesome, who wants to fucking, like, why go to a concert? So, and I don't know, something with this Taylor Swift, her concert too, some fucking weird ass drama. Whole bunch of people just canceled their tours. So, and God, this fucking burping thing. God damn, I'm gonna be so glad to go in those fucking med beds and fix all my shit. Because I know it's something with my stomach. I know it's something with this chemicals and shit they put in my my stomach. It's just like it's a mess. Anyways, what was I gonna say? I think I've been talking a long time. So I don't remember what I was gonna say, but it's the same thing as I always say, that we've got this part that we got to get through. All the parts that we go through are all opportunities for you to heal and grow. All this nastiness and stuff has to be purged out of our society. I mean, unless we want to just live in a porn, some porn, that's covered with disease and sickness and nobody's connected. And like, I don't know who wants a future like that, but that's the one that we were headed to with our decisions we were making. And, I mean, even, goddamn, when you see these things about the library books in the school library and you hear these people come up and read them, Jesus Christ, that is fucking up. Oh, God. So, anyways, I mean, this shit has to go down and it has to change. And so, and it's going to be dramatic, and you just got to keep staying safe. Use the time to work on you. Use the time. Like, if you have things like this, like, I don't understand. Like, these people on this show, they go to counseling and shit. And you'd think they'd have all these counselors available. They fucking need some goddamn alcohol counselors available on this show all the time. They need some fucking doctors talking to them about their livers. But let me think what I was gonna say. But to see like so many people struggling in their lives, just like struggling, and it's just there. You can heal. You don't even need to go to a counselor. You don't need to do anything except for face yourself. Spend time with yourself. Ask yourself questions, and then listen to the answers. Be open. You got to pull free from that 3D existence and start becoming singularly motivated. It's got to come from within. It's got to be you, and you have to lead you, and you can heal, but you have to be open when the things come up. And that is so against what people are programmed. They're programmed to distract, to, not focus on that. And then you even got the love and light. Oh, don't think about anything that's going to make you sad. Don't think about anything that's going to make you angry. No, you need to think about that shit. You need to let it go. Otherwise, it's just sitting in there trapped. All that energy is just sitting inside you trapped. And it can come out whenever it wants. As soon as somebody triggers it, it can just come out, and then you are reacting and angry, and you're somebody you don't think you are. And that's why you got to heal the shit. You got to let it go. You got to go in and face yourself. You got to go in and let, when things come that trigger you, those are the signs. The trigger is the thing that is coming to the surface. The trigger isn't something they did wrong. It's something that you are reacting to right to what they did. The thing is coming to the surface to be seen, to be released. And you got to appreciate the triggers, not react, not distract, not get mad and angry. No, you got to sit and process so you can release what is inside of you, so you can let it go. So you're not walking around just, break out away, from tragic acne thing or something on your face. Like, if you get what I'm saying, like you're right on anything can happen, just set it off. It's like a fucking bomb go off. When you're carrying around, you are like a TNT going around if you don't heal your shit. Just like these people, like quit drinking. They're doing so good. They're so, and they're coming into themselves, but, you cross them. You better watch out because they will fucking lose their goddamn minds. And when people rage, it gets people killed. Like, people lose their minds when they rage. A chemical comes in and takes over. You don't want to get into a rage. You don't want to get yourself into that. You want to manage your emotions. You want to control yourself. You want to face yourself. And, and then you can start living, a life of peace. A life where, where you can get into that judgmental, like looking down on other people, like how reactive they are. But that is your challenge, to get to that point where you can not be judging others because they aren't where you are. All of these things are all challenges for us all. No matter where you get to in this process, there's still always something, and not judging others is a big one. It's a really big one, to allow everybody their own space to this experience, and their own pace to their awakening and healing. So anyways, I have been talking a long time, so it just this could be, today's Monday, today's when the bank's open. There's all those loud noises, so it's 5:30 here. So it's already on the East Coast, it's already 8 there, so we should start seeing banks start opening and stuff. So if shit's going to start going this week, then I think there's a lot of good signs. So let's all just come together with that energy and just keep pushing, like, oh, it's this week, it's this week, it's this week. See if we can make it happen. I don't think so. Everything is a divine timing. Everything is set in place. So it's going to happen when it's going to happen, and there's nothing we can do about that. It's going to go down. How it's going to go down, when it's going to go down. We're just along for the ride. So buckle up and stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.